Hello everyone and welcome on back to another exciting episode. Now today I would like to talk about something that's been on my mind recently. I was originally just going to talk about it, and then I was going to read an article while also talking about it. Now I'm going to watch a video and talk about it, because it's easier to do this. I will not be showing the video in the corner because of the same reason of the last three, because apparently I can't show videos ever. So, we're just going to have to listen to the audio like we have the other two. So, I will briefly tell you what this is as soon as I move this camera so it's in a better place. So, essentially what is happening, I'll give you a brief little overview and then we'll go through the video. Trump's administration is now trying to define sex and gender so specifically that it essentially erases transgender people from existence. Now, if you remember that PragerU video that I did weeks, whatever, you'll know that my basic stance on this is, who cares? If somebody's trans, fine, let them be trans. If they're not, then whatever. But this new law will essentially erase them from existence, so I think it's worth going over because, you know, that is not civil rights, and that's actually against the Constitution. So, you know, maybe if they're gonna do that, maybe they should read the thing. I don't know. Alright, let's get into this video. It's from a guy named Anthony Brian Logan. I have not decided whether or not I will put the link in the description. I probably will. If I can find the video again. Alright, let's go.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we're going to talk about the Trump administration clearly defining what gender is. Either you're male or you're female. Okay. That is it. That is all.
Okay. It's royal. Not what. Okay. So the New York Times is actually the publication that basically leaked the memo that the Trump administration was considering changing the definition of sex. Except here's the thing. They're not changing the definition of gender. They're changing the definition of sex. And because they made it so that it's talking about sex, then what they're arguing for is basically correct, because you really can't get around what they're saying. You're either born biologically male or born biologically female, you know, XX or XY. And, that is what your sex is, and they're trying to use that to influence Constitution to get rid of transgenders. But essentially, that's incorrect, because you're using the definition of sex correctly, but you're not using the definition of gender correctly. Gender is the state of being male or female, typically used in a cultural significance and a cultural way rather than a biological one. So you're already inaccurate starting off because you made the thing about sex. If you would have made it about gender, then maybe we could have this discussion. Also, this guy just said there's two genders, that's it, that's all. There's two sexes, that's it, that's all. Genders, honestly, I made a whole video about why the gender argument is pointless. It's dumb.
Now, if you want to identify as an attack helicopter, whatever the case may be, that's your personal business.
He actually did the thing. Okay, so here's what I always find funny about that whole attack helicopter thing. I don't think I've ever once heard a liberal or anyone really say genuinely that they identify as attack helicopter. The only people that say that are the people making fun of the people who are saying that they're non-binary. Non-binary is really, it's the basic definition of the words. Non meaning not, and binary meaning, well, in this case, it's referring to genders. Gender being binary, either male or female, there's no in between. Non-binary means they're not a part of that. They don't fit into one of those two sections. So, it's not like an attack helicopter. So, this guy, I don't think he did any research, and if he did do any research, then he must have done it on Fox, because it really is bad research.
However, you cannot use your gender identity or transgender status in a legal sense as it relates to Title IX, which is the whole point to this video.
Okay, the Title IX is essentially no one can fire you or be openly discriminatory against you because of your sex, because of your sexuality, your skin color, your ethnicity, your sex, okay? So basically you can't fire a woman just because she's a woman. Obama put in, under sex, they identified also gender identity, which is something I don't get this whole debate here, because it's think about it like this. There's two parts of this argument. One of them is, let's erase trans people from being able to have rights, or not that. Look at it objectively. Take yourself out of the situation. Imagine, instead of a trans person, put a African American person in there. Now say, we're either going to take away your African American rights or not do that. We've been down this road before. We know how civil rights things tend to end up in history. So it's like, why are you even bothering doing this? And even if you do not agree that transgenders are transgender, which, I mean, it's not your decision, it's their decision. It's not even their decision, it's not a choice. But if they actually choose to embrace who they are, then who are you to say no? That's not something that you're entitled to. That's the thing. I also hate the argument that just brought into my mind about how conservatives say liberals aren't the tolerant ones. We're actually the tolerant ones. Liberals aren't tolerant of us. That's like not how that works. Title IX, just keep it the way it is. Nobody really noticed when it was put into effect anyway. It essentially was just, you can't fire a trans person just for being trans. You can't kick them out of your house just for being trans. Which actually in some places you can. But for the most part, you're not supposed to be able to because of Title IX. But, you know, they're trying to say they don't fall in Title IX status, which, why? You're just splitting hairs over something. You're just trying to get more political base, is what he's trying to do. We're really going to go back in history? You realize that Uruguay, the little tiny South American country Uruguay, now has protections for trans people not to be fired, and for them to not, to be able to live and go to the bathroom that they please. Uruguay. A little tiny South American country is beating the United States in acceptance. Aren't we supposed to be a democracy? I forgot. How does the thing that they're arguing about, the Constitution, how does that start exactly? Oh yeah, all men are created equal.
9 is, I'll place that on the screen before you. Basically, if you are an...
Okay, here's the actual definition of Title IX. I'm glad you brought this up. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financing assistance. If Trump gets what he wants on this, they can just stop teaching people about trans kids and actively hurt them in their education. Not only about themselves and to other people to know what trans people are, but also to just make their lives a living hell. They already have a lot to deal with. Do they really need more? It's almost like people don't know what sympathy is anymore. Come on, can't you just shut up for a minute and put yourself in their situation? You can't, can you? Because you're so stuck in your own head that you can't just get it out of your head for 1 minute and just go, what if I was that person? Or what if I had that similar situation? Would you really want to be treated like that? Because I can guarantee you the answer is no. And what does the golden rule? Treat others the way you want to be treated. America is so stuck in its conservative American weird limbo thing that it's falling behind in basic things. The United Kingdom, the UK, Britain, you know, the thing that we got seceded from to become America in the first place, also has protections for trans people. Every developed nation pretty much on the face of the earth has some level of protection for LGBT people. The United States is currently trying to backroll that. Imagine if they defeated, the segregation was gone, and then 10 years later, they tried to resegregate everybody. Imagine how that would have felt. Now imagine it happening right now, because it is. You don't have to imagine it. It's just happening.
If that's the case, then what's to prevent a person from becoming, quote unquote, becoming a female that was born male and going into the women's restroom in the college campus?
That does not happen. I've gone over this so many times that it actually, like, infuriates me when people bring it up. Like, do some research. No other case has been reported about that. Because nobody thinks like that. Who genuinely, if a straight guy was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on a dress and go into the women's bathroom so I can assault them while they're trying to pee. That is the worst plan. Think about it for like 5 seconds and you'll realize that's dumb. The thing that, like, the biological, the stupid arguments like, oh, well, have you had surgery yet? Even if they did get the surgery, you still don't think of them as female, so why does it matter? Also, this guy's wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Oh yeah, thanks for making it so great that people don't even have rights anymore. That's the brilliance.